want to talk to you about actually going to a game. So you actually got to go to a game. It was only the second or third time you ever got to watch a game. You were in Winnipeg, and how was that experience? Actually, just being in the stands with your wife and actually enjoying a date night for a change, and not having the stress of the game going on behind you.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had the best time. I went to a game earlier with my son, and that was probably the first one since I stopped playing that I've been to at the rink, and then going with my wife to watch the Habs. It was just cool. Just to see a couple guys. And when you're looking at the team from 2 years ago, there was like three players left. I think it was Galley, Petrie, Paulie Byron. I think he was hurt. I don't think he was playing. And who else would it? Well, Jake Evans would have been there, but he was a tail end of 2020. So yeah, just to see how quickly the team turned over was pretty crazy. But just to watch a game and be a fan again was fun. We had a great time.
Were people recognizing you around the building? Like, was it like kind of like a lot of highs and lows, or was it kind of you just kept to yourself? What was it like?
Yeah, no. So I was in my neighbor's box, so I wasn't really walking around the concourse as much.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, but still, it was kind of funny. There was a guy with a Weise jersey, and he had this I don't know what he had. He had like a clown hat on or something. But it was there was probably 3 or 4 Weise jerseys I saw in the crowd, which was pretty cool. And I was with my neighbor there, and he called over the guy with the Weise jersey, and I was like, "Do you know who this is?" And then he wasn't really paying attention. Then looked up and saw it was me, and he got pretty excited. So we signed his jersey for him and stuff. And it was pretty cool. It's kind of cool, obviously when I was playing, you could see some Weise jerseys, but to be at a game as a fan and see it, I think it's always kind of cool. It's humbling, and it's a pretty cool experience.
I texted you in March, I think, when I saw one in Buffalo. I was like, "Let's go," and you're like, "Let's go."
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's always good to see one in the crowd, right? I want to show a clip of when you first got to Montreal, man. And this was where I got a sense of you as a person. I'm like, this guy just does not seem like you seem like one of us. I think that's what we gathered from Habs tonight, is that you're one of us. Like you were an NHLer, but you were just you were still down to earth, and you didn't feel so far removed from everybody else. So I just appreciated that when you first came in. And this is a clip of you and Luongo before the warm-up, just after you got traded out of Vancouver. I just want to show this real quick.
It's unreal. I love it. I'm trying your glove all night long, Lou. I'm trying it all night long.
So good, man. What do you remember about that? Does that take you back to how excited you were to be in Montreal for the first time as a player?
Yeah, I mean, man, that's a long time ago. It was weird where you get traded and then you play your team like a week and a half later.
Yeah.
These are guys that I was teammates with for 2.5 years, and we're on the same road trip. And then 9 days later we're playing each other. So it was weird, but that was for me, that was some of the best time of my career. Just coming to Montreal, growing up as a Habs fan, as everybody knows, to put on the jersey. It just seems surreal to watch that far back now. When I watch clips like that, it was like I would never played on Vancouver. I was always on Montreal, because that's when it really, I don't know. That's when I had the most fun. I have the best memories. Everything was in Montreal, so those are fun. That's when it all started to go right.
Yeah, this was this was your second game actually with the club, but this, I think, coming up here is your first point as a Montreal Canadian, and it's the Winnipeg connection. So I'll let the clip speak for itself here, Dale.
And then White pulls some strings, and it's 2-0 for the Canadiens.
Whitey.
So good, man. So good. You're mic'd up, right? So that's why, for that whole 24CH episode, we had you mic'd up and got to get behind the scenes of what it was like. We got to see your perspective, what it was like to be a Montreal Canadian. So I think that's why we connected with you, because it was like your childhood team. You come in here, and this is what it would be like for all of us. Like here's a point of view from Dale. So I just love that stuff, man.
Oh, I love that. That was it was so cool because I literally played against Ryan White since I was 8 years old. He lived 2 hours from Winnipeg, but we always played Brandon. He beat city finals, provincial finals, actually, when we were 15. Our team was undefeated. We ended up playing Whitey in the final, and he beat us in 5 games. But I knew him so well to get a chance to not only come to Montreal, but play with a guy. We were rivals in the Western Hockey League too. He knocked us out in the playoffs my last year as junior. But I always had so much respect for him. So it was really cool, him personally, to get a chance to play with him on a line and be around him, and then be in Montreal too. It was just, that whole first week was kind of a whirlwind. Like when I think back on it, it's like, man, did that really happen? Because it's just so surreal where you go from, dreaming your whole life of playing for the Montreal Canadiens, and then you finally do it. Like, yeah, I dreamed of playing in the NHL, and playing in the NHL was great in my first game and everything, but it didn't really become surreal until I actually played for Montreal.
Yeah, that's where it seemed like it was at the next level. Like you're looking around the Bell Center, you're talking to Cassie in there, and you're like, what a barn, eh? Like, look at this place. Like not just as a fan anymore or as a visiting player. Do you remember your first game as a visitor to the Bell Center? Like I never thought about that.
I do. I was on Vancouver when we played Montreal, but it was pretty quick. I don't think we were in Montreal for very long. It was like a back-to-back. We came in, we played. And I really don't remember that much about it. It was just kind of like, I think maybe I was a little like in awe because I was playing in Montreal for the first time. And obviously, again, being the biggest fan, I was kind of, and I might have played like 4 minutes that night. So I think that's probably why it wasn't very memorable for me.
Okay, well, that's fair. But I just thought like, when was the first time you played there? Because obviously you were the part of the home team, and that was a different story. So